QuickBooks Integration. The accounting module is integrated with QuickBooks through a real-time connection. This is designed to eliminate double entry as double entry increases the chances of human error, ultimately saving time and becoming more efficient with reconciling your finances. This integration will sync selected transactions that has been processed in your CiiRUS account, including accounts payables and accounts receivables. Just like processing owner statements and tax reports, it is very easy to connect your CiiRUS account to your QuickBooks accounts. Currently, CiiRUS is compatible with any desktop version of QuickBooks. There are 3 steps you will need to complete in order to successfully connect your CiiRUS system to your QuickBooks software. They are the chart of accounts, owners, and vendors. These items must be configured to its full entirety in order to correctly export all bill payments, owner payments, and rental payments to the QuickBooks bank account of your choosing. Let's get started with the integration. Connecting CiiRUS to QuickBooks. In order to establish the connection, run QuickBooks and open your company file. Always make sure QuickBooks is running on your PC and the company account file is open. In CiiRUS, go to Accounting Functions, QuickBooks, and then select the Settings tab. Enter the start date you started to use the QuickBooks module. This prevents deposits before that date from showing up to export to QuickBooks. Remote Connector. The remote connector allows you or others to connect to a QuickBooks company file that is located on a remote computer. To connect to a remote PC, select Use Remote Connector. If you are using the remote connector, enter the username, password, URL, and port. These settings are configured on the remote PC using the remote connector configuration. Make sure that the port number specified is allowed through the firewall on the remote PC. If you have QuickBooks up and running, then click on Connect to QuickBooks. You will see a security prompt window from QuickBooks to allow CiiRUS to access the data file. When this window appears, select the option to always allow even when QuickBooks is not running. If you are using the remote connector, then this security prompt will appear on the remote PC running QuickBooks. If CiiRUS and QuickBooks is up and running at the same time, then the connection is successful. Once the connection is established, CiiRUS will load all of your QuickBooks bank accounts. Select the bank account in QuickBooks that you would like to export transactions to. Create standard QuickBooks items. You must create certain standard items in QuickBooks, which can be done automatically in CiiRUS using the Create QuickBooks Items option. You only need to do this once before you start to use this QuickBooks module. Again, make sure CiiRUS is running with the correct company file open, and if applicable, the remote connector is configured and operational. Check each applicable box and then click Create. Customer called customer. All deposits from guests will be assigned to this customer in QuickBooks. Vendor called owner. This is used if you select to export owner payments to a single QuickBooks vendor. Advance deposit, security deposit, and payments from owner accounts. These are used when exporting guest and owner payments to QuickBooks. The advance deposit and security deposit accounts will automatically be configured in QuickBooks as long-term liability accounts, and the payment from owner account will be in QuickBooks as income account. Payment types: card, wire, and other. These are used when exporting guest payments to QuickBooks. After checking each box, be sure to click on Create. Mapping owner account categories to QuickBooks Chart of Accounts. For each owner account category in CiiRUS, you must map it to the corresponding chart of accounts in QuickBooks. To do so, click on Configure. You will see a new window listing all of the CiiRUS owner account categories. For each owner account category, choose the corresponding QuickBooks chart of accounts in the column to the right, assuming you have already set this up in QuickBooks. If you want to create QuickBooks accounts for each category, select each owner account category and then click on Export to QuickBooks. This will create a matching QuickBooks account and associate it with the appropriate owner account category. Once completed, click OK to save. Configuring owners as vendors. Export owner payments. When exporting owner payments from CiiRUS to QuickBooks, you can either export all payments to a single QuickBooks vendor, regardless of who the owner is, or you can create a matching vendor in QuickBooks for each owner in CiiRUS. To a single QuickBooks vendor. In CiiRUS, use this drop-down menu to choose the owner created in QuickBooks. If you've recently added the owner in QuickBooks, to refresh this list, click on Connect to QuickBooks. To matching QuickBooks vendor. In this mode, you must have vendors set up for each owner in CiiRUS. CiiRUS can create owners as vendors to your QuickBooks software. In CiiRUS, you can create owners as vendors to export to QuickBooks by going to Owners and Homes, Manage Owners, and then select or highlight the owner and click on Export to QuickBooks. This way, you do not have to enter the owner twice. Once the owner is entered into CiiRUS, it can be exported to QuickBooks to eliminate double entry. At any time in the future when you add a new owner, make sure you use the Export to QuickBooks option for that new owner. Configuring contacts as vendors. For each vendor in your CiiRUS account, you must create and link to a matching vendor in QuickBooks. To do so, go to Management Company and then select Contacts. For each contact that is a vendor, be sure to check the Show as Vendor checkbox and then enter who the check is payable to, specify the category, subcategory, and then the owner account category as well. Be sure to save any changes. Once completed, click on the QuickBooks Link tab. This will show you a list of all of your contacts that are configured as vendors. In the QuickBooks Vendor column, select the matching QuickBooks vendor for each contact. If you do not have a vendor created in QuickBooks and the vendor is created in CiiRUS, you can select the vendor to export to QuickBooks to eliminate double entry. To do so, simply check on each box and then click on Export to QuickBooks. If you already have all of your vendors created in QuickBooks, you can also import them into CiiRUS by clicking on Import from QuickBooks. Then select each vendor you wish to import, followed by the Import button. Exporting transactions. Once you have mapped the chart of accounts, owners, and contacts as vendors, you have successfully completed the configuration process. Now you can begin to export checks, bill payments, and deposits. To do so, go to Accounting Functions, QuickBooks, and then click on the Exports tab. To export any type of bill or utility payment processed in CiiRUS, click on the Checks/Bill Payments tab. This table will display the date the check was paid, the vendor, check or reference number, method of payment, and then the amount. Select which checks you would like to export over to QuickBooks and then click on Export. Once the export is completed, the payments will appear on the check register for the QuickBooks bank account of your choosing. Double-click on the transaction and all entered details will appear. To export owner payments or rental payments, click on the Deposits tab. This table will display all receivables, the date the payment was processed, the name of the guest or owner, type of account, amount, payment method, and the type of account. Select which items you would like to export over to the QuickBooks bank account of your choosing, and then click on Export. Once the export is completed, just like bill payments, the transactions will appear on the check register in your QuickBooks account. Double-click on the transaction to view more details.